Let's fight fire with fire and get ready to scrape the web. Alright, so in this video what we're going to be looking at is how to scrape, and I know that's kind of like a dirty word, but how we could look at Amazon and also Newegg and then see if we can know when something's available. I'm not going to walk through the steps of clicking the cart and automating that whole thing. This is really just a notification of when something is available. And this is just one method. This is just one way to do it. There may be a billion other effective ways and also more robust ways, but I think this is a very easy introduction into how do you do the simplest web scraper possible to see if your product is available. So let's go ahead and look at what we're going to be looking for. So I'm going to bring this on over here, going to maximize it out. And so let's just take this for example. We have the Oculus Quest 2 on Newegg, and we have add to cart. So this is what we're going to click to kick off the buying thing here. And if this doesn't exist, then, well, it's, not available, right? But if we look, we see there's an add to cart. Okay, there's some add to carts here. And let's keep scrolling. There's some more add to carts. So if we're just looking for something that says add to cart as a strategy, we're going to fail, right? We're either going to have to get the number of typical add to cart buttons that exist on a page and then be like, okay, if it's one less than the typical 6 that are there, I guess you could go about that. That would be kind of a naive way of doing it. But let's use our web developer tools here. And let's click on this because this is what's going to guide us. So we can see here that we have button and then button primary and then button wide. This looks promising. Let's copy this. Let's do a Control F. This opens this up down here. And we have one thing on the entire page that has this class. So for the Newegg product here, this is what we're going to be looking for. Awesome. That's pretty cool. So we're going to target that in our code example. So I like Mario. I actually own this game. It's a lot of fun and I'm almost done with it. Actually, let me know below if you would want me to review, I don't know, gamer stuff from a developer's point of view. I don't know what kind of review I could give from a developer perspective, but if you want other content, let me know. So what we see here is we have add to cart down here. So it's kind of the same problem we have on Newegg. There's a lot of stuff going on, but if we use our eye, we realize that there's only this one item on the page, and this is a particular kind of icon. So let's go ahead and open up our developer tools, right click inspect. We're actually going to click on here and we can see this class. So let's come in, copy and paste it, Control F to look for it. And we see that there's only truly one of these icons on the page. So now that we know in both instances, and yes, I have the code off to the side, I have it saved already, what we're going to be looking for to indicate is something available, or at least start off with the strategy if you want to make something more robust. This is where we're going to start. So I'm going to move this out of the way here. And now let's code. So you're going to have a typical, Python. This one's just called script because I write a lot of scripts for random things here. And I'm going to import some stuff. And what I'm going to do is in the comments or the description of the video, I'm going to have links to where do you download these things from. I already have some of these imports. Actually, I have all these imports. So I'm just kind of walk through the steps at a higher level. So let's go ahead and I will kick off everything up until the while loop. Okay, so what I have here is found, which is equal to false. So this should send a signal that I'm going to do a while loop. I'm going to have a kind of flag that goes. And then I'm going to have my URL. This is for Super Mario 3D. I'm going to switch it over to Newegg when we go to test that. These headers right here. So sometimes you could scrape a site and it doesn't care, or maybe it's a mom and pop shop and they don't have quite the technology to say, hey, this is a non-browser thing coming in. This right here, these headers, when we go to include them in our GET request, it will make our request, our GET from the website pulling all its materials back, make us look like a browser. Now, I don't know all the ins and the outs of these headers right here. Networking is actually one of my, I would say, weaker parts of knowledge. So I kind of just found this from a general Stack Overflow forum kind of setup here. And so this does work. Obviously, I've tested this. And so we're going to include this in our request. And so what we're going to do now is write a while loop. We're then going to go and every 1 second, we're going to request information from the page. And then we're going to make a beep sound if our item is on the page. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so now that we have this finished, let me go through and explain it here. I have the request, so this is getting the information being requested up in here with this front saying, hey, we're actually a browser. Then we are getting the content from it. And so Beautiful Soup right here, which is a really cool package, is breaking it down as HTML. And then I'm going to have to copy out either line 26 or 29 because I'm not going to look for both at the same time. That doesn't make sense. Only one will work. And I don't want to override, if I'm looking for Amazon with whatever's a Newegg here. And so I'm going to look for this right here, that element, and I'm going to look for that one unique class that appears when you could buy something. And for Newegg, I'm going to look for that one button that only has these kinds of classes when something is available. And then what this does, since it's a find all, that's a hint that it's going to give us an array. So even if there's just one, the array is just going to have one item in it. So if our length is greater than 0, or we could do equal to 1 if we wanted to, we're going to print available. We're going to set this to true, so it kicks out of it. And then we're going to set off a loud beep. But if it doesn't find it, it's going to pause for a second, and then it's going to go up and then make the request all over again. So let's go ahead and test this for, let's see, what do I have up here already? Amazon. Let's test this for Amazon and see if our code works. So Python, and then the name of our file. And it found it. Awesome. So let's comment that out. We're going to use Newegg, so I'm going to bring that on over. Let's test this out. All right, that found it even quicker, so that's awesome. So this is kind of a naive base way that we could scrape, look at a website, see if something's available. Please be ethical with this. Don't buy 6 billion of something and screw someone over. I'm actually creating a larger one of these to inform me when a graphics card is actually available, because I really want one. So if you have any questions, like, share, subscribe, any of that jazz. If you like my content, share it with other people. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope you had fun.